Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope the A team's doing great. So today I am gonna talk about all Forever 52 products. I have quite a few in front of me, yeah, I think like I wanted to do a Valentine's Day video last time, but I didn't get down to doing that. So today is going to be a very long video to make up for all the times that I've not posted any videos on my channel. I'm really hoping you guys stick around because this brand is a pretty kick-ass brand, and they have been in India now for I think almost a year, and a lot of their products that I have been using for quite a while now have really surprised me, and I'm going to talk about some of the good things about their products, some of the negatives, and I'm going to try them on my face so that you guys can see. Also, all the products and price points can be found on dailylifeforever52.in. So the first thing I want to talk about is their primer. Now they have something called the Daily Life Forever 52 Elixir, and it's this really nice sort of like gel based primer. Comes in a nice pump bottle like this, and I'm just going to start off by applying that all over the face, and it's pretty nice and hydrating and cooling at the same time. It's got a really light tackiness to it, and it doesn't have any scent, so if you're someone who has very sensitive skin, this is definitely a nice one to try out. So I'm going to use the Forever 52 brow pencil in the shade F121. Now there are two different kinds of pencils. They have this one which is slightly more like waxy in texture in terms of the the consistency, and there's another one that I have, but that's in my professional kit, and that one is almost feels like it's pencil, but it kind of goes on like a powder, and I kind of like that one a little bit more, just for my personal use. This one is really great as well if you're someone who wants your eyebrows to kind of stay in place, then this is a good one to have. Okay, then next I'm gonna go in with the Forever 52 Miraculous Concealer Pencil. So yeah, this is like a really big jumbo pencil. It comes with, of course, the product on one side, and then you have a really cute sponge applicator on the other side, which helps you blend out the product. The sponge is not particularly the best, but I like using this just to sort of define the brows when I'm doing them. So now that that's done, I'm actually gonna go in with the Forever 52 liquid concealers. These definitely oxidize, so you have to factor that in if you're choosing your shade. However, I do love the coverage of these and the consistency, and they do stay on pretty well. I'm just using this concealer right now as a base for my eye makeup. I think I'm going to start with the eyes first, and there's a lot to show you guys in the eye makeup department. One of the most amazing range of products in the Forever 52 line is definitely the eyeshadows. So I'm just going to talk about the different textures. Now they have one whole range of palettes, and I have all three of them, which are called the Magnificent Metals. Let me just, yeah, Magnificent eyeshadow palettes, and I have three with me. This is the actual palette. I don't have the boxes with me, but this little print at the back that you can see was the box that they both came in. You have the eyeshadow colors printed on the back. This is a cruelty-free brand, which I'm really happy about, and the eyeshadows come in this really gorgeous sort of metallic sorry, not metallic, magnetic palette, and with beautiful embossing on the front, which I really love. And this is a palette number 2, and let me show you palette number 1 as well. Palette number 1 has I would say slightly warmer colors in there, like some warmer browns and coppers and reds and stuff, and there are some repeat colors in these two, but I still picked up both anyway. And then in the same sort of formulation, there was I think like a limited edition, or I don't know what, but it was called the Twinkle Stars palette, and it is also a Magnificent Metals palette, but this one is like definitely definitely more colorful, and you can see that there is like a green and a red and a blue and stuff. So I'm going to swatch this like purpley shade here, and also the green for you guys to give you an idea of the pigmentation. And these are really pigmented, as you can see, definitely very metallic and beautiful. And I'm going to swatch these just on the back of my wrist so you guys can see the pigmentation. So this is like really amazing stuff, and they do have like a little bit of a sparkle going on as well, so they perform better when there's like immediate like contact to the skin. so directly on your lid and not like under or on top of any matte eyeshadows. Yeah, so that's just my advice. But yeah, these are amazing. They don't crease, at least I haven't had an issue with them creasing, and highly pigmented. The next eyeshadow palette that I have in front of me is the Forever 52 Professional Daily Life palette. This is what the palette looks like. Again, with these, I find that the metallics should be used on their own and not on top of any like matte eyeshadows. That's just something I've noticed with these. And you can see the pigmentation on this as well is pretty strong. Now, the third palette that I have in front of me is the Dramatic Eyeshadow palette, and this one is a 18 eyeshadow palette. It's the only one that I have that actually comes with a mirror, and you get another one of this as well. This is the palette number 1. I think there's a palette number 2. Very pigmented, once again, very beautiful. So swatching the satin first, swatching the matte now, and now swatching the metallic eyeshadow last. The last one that I have is a different kind of texture again. It's sort of like a cream, but it's not a thick cream like the other metallic eyeshadows. This one is also like a, I don't know how to explain. It's creamy, but it's a very sheer sort of formulation. So I'm just going to go into this shade here. And these are shimmers. They are called, let me just see what they're called exactly. These are also called metallic eyeshadow. I don't know why. But it's more of a, gives you like a very sparkly sort of wet look on the eyelid when you put it on. So I don't know if the camera is picking that up, but you can see that sort of glistening, you know, oily look on the eyes. I think it's beautiful. It looks amazing. And again, this is something you have to use on its own. You can't really pair it up with another matte eyeshadow or, you know, tap it on top. As of now, I haven't really, like, I don't feel like these work well that way. So that's something to keep in mind. So let's start off by taking this really pale shade here, and I'm just going to take that in the crease and just lightly apply that. So this is going to act as the transition shade and blends, like it blends really easily, like I don't really have to do too much. Next I'm going to take this brown shade here in the palette. It's a matte eyeshadow, and just intensifying the crease a little bit more, and you can see I'm hardly like doing anything and it's blending in pretty beautifully. Now I'm going to go in with this deep plum shade here, the bottom. I'm just going to pat that on the outer V of the eye. This is the Twinkle Star palette number 3. I'm just taking this coppery shade right here, and I'm going to use my finger and I'm just going to pat that on to my eyes. Also, I don't really have any eyeshadow on this area of the face, so I'm hoping this works really well. Isn't that like amazing? Okay, I think I would like to go with this gold from palette number 1. It's like insanity right now, the pigmentation on that. Oh, but that looks, these are unbelievable. Okay, I am really loving this. I just want to see how it applies with a brush versus how it applies with my hand. Okay, so I definitely feel like these apply way better with your fingers rather than using a brush. Just gonna go in with my finger now and see how much better that applies. Yeah, and I immediately feel like using your finger for these metal eyeshadows works way better than trying to use a brush. And just kind of, you know, darken the outer corner. So I'm going in with this dark plum shade here. These look, guys, you have to see this in person. It's like so beautiful. The camera is not doing any justice to the eyeshadows right now. It's stunning, like seriously beautiful, especially if you're doing bridal. Like this is really beautiful. I'm going to take the same fluffy brush and I'm dipping into the black metallic shadow, and I want to see, just want to like apply a little bit. It's pigmented for sure. Now I'm gonna move on from the eyes a little bit as in continue ahead. This is the Forever 52 Intense Black Extra Lasting Kajal, and it says it's waterproof and 16 hours stay, soft texture, smudge free, and all of that good stuff. So I'm just going to line the upper waterline with this. Okay, so next I am going to curl my lashes. I don't have a mascara from this line. They do have mascaras, of course, but I didn't get one. So I'm just gonna curl my lashes. I'm gonna just use the Wet n Wild, what is this? The Wet n Wild Lash Renegade mascara. I've been really enjoying this for my everyday stuff. I'm using the Milani Bigger Lashes, which is like my all-time favorite mascara. It's superb, but that's in my other bag right now. But yeah, this one's a good mascara as well. The next thing I would love to talk about is the concealer, and I did speak of the liquid concealers, right? So I'm going to talk about, they have cream concealers as well. So you get these quads that they have. This is the quad number 2, this is quad number 3. So if you look at these, and I have used them quite a bit, I use a lot of like these two shades here, the coral and this one, and these really remind me of the Viseart or Viseart concealers. They are very pigmented and like a little bit really kind of goes a long way. I'm gonna go in with a bit of the orange concealer first and tap just a little bit on my finger and pat that on the dark circle under my eye. And now I'm gonna take a mix of this yellow shade here and a little bit of the darker shade here, because the yellow is too bright for me. So I'm just mixing these two shades and I'm just patting that under my eyes. So you can do that till you are happy with the amount of coverage you have. Personally, I'm not someone who goes for like a crazy full coverage under eye. I just feel like that makes you look more unnatural and makes it more obvious that you have like foundation on your skin and makeup and stuff. I mean, it is already obvious that I have makeup, but I don't like using a very heavy hand. If at all, then I make sure that my color correcting that I do is like I focus more on the color correcting and less on the amount of concealer that I use. Now I want to talk about the Forever 52 foundation, and the reason I love this is, one, of course, the packaging is great. It's in a pump bottle. It's a glass bottle, unfortunately, which is a little bit I mean, I like it, but it's not the best option for when you're traveling and stuff. But I love the formulation of this foundation. Every time I wear it, I love the coverage. I love how it feels on my skin. I love that I don't know, it's one of the only foundations, or maybe like one of two foundations that I use, which actually makes my skin look really good after. Like when I take off my foundation, I feel like my skin has got like a healthy dose of something, and I really don't know why that is, but I love this foundation. Now the only downside about this foundation is that it does oxidize, and right now they haven't launched every shade in the market. They do have a very wide range of their skin products, but a lot of them are not yet here. I don't know why that is, and I know that because I've seen the catalog, and in the catalog that they gave me, there's a huge range, like a really wide range for all skin tones, all skin types and everything. So yeah, so this is the only negative. I use the shade 007. So I'm just taking some product on the ProArt AP18 brush. It's like a stippling brush, but it's slightly flattish and kind of interesting shape. So I'm just gonna start off by, starting from the center of my face going outward, and I'm not doing a very heavy layer. And you can see, like, once I blend the foundation out, it is oxidizing very lightly. So that is something, if you're trying these foundations out, I would say swatch the samples, see how much, is it oxidizing by half a step, 1 step, 2 steps, or whatever, and then choose a shade in accordance to your skin color. So I would not recommend this for a client unless you're really good with your foundation work and you know exactly how to gauge, because you don't want to go there, put a foundation on your client and have that completely change on them. But if you really mastered this product and you know it, like understood how to calculate the shade thing, then go for it. But I would say this is great for personal use. And also I wore this in Rajasthan in the desert. I was trying these foundations out, like this particular foundation, which is the ultra definition foundation. I wore it in the desert in the heat at like 40 degrees, and I swear it did not budge. It does of course, you know, get a little like oily and all of that because it is a very hydrating foundation. So my advice would be to use it in a cold sort of environment, or really powder it down. But it did not budge. It stayed on. The staying power was amazing, and like I said, I just loved how my skin looked and felt afterwards. So guys, this is how it looks on the skin, and without powdering it down, you can see that it's extremely like luminous and dewy, and it does have like a gel like feeling to it, which I personally enjoy a lot. Let us move on to powdering the face. Now this powder that I have is the Banana Luxury Powder, and it comes in a little container like this. I do believe they have different sizes and also different colored powders, but I'm not sure if all of that is available in the market right now. There's a little sifter here. I'm just going to take some of that, and I do feel like this yellow powder is dark for me, so I'm just dabbing, taking a little bit on the back of this, what is this, a fluffy brush, and just gonna tap that under my eye. It does add a bit of coverage, not too much, but it's a good powder. I wouldn't say it's bad. Have I used other setting powders that are much finer than this? I would have to say yes. This would be very similar to the Makeup Revolution Luxury Banana Powder that's available in the market, but I do feel like this particular one makes me look a little darker. Like it doesn't make me look vibrant and bright on the skin. It does, however, like really keep the skin like mattified and really locks in your foundation, like sealed, like you won't have anything budging. I used this in Rajasthan, like I was saying. I used this powder as well, so it was phenomenal. So I know it's really good in that sense. Okay, so now the next palette that I want to talk about is the Intensity Highlighter and Contour Powder Palette. This is the number 2 palette. I guess they have another one. You can either pick this up in like a set of like only 4 shades, or you can pick up the whole, you know, palette of 8, which I've done. I love this palette. It's amazing. I'm going to show you guys in a bit. It comes with 2 highlighters here. This is like a really beautiful color highlighter. It's like a gold, but like a peach gold. This is a more pale, like very neutral sort of gold pale shade here. The rest of these are all matte contour and highlight shades. This one is like a banana powder. This one is a slightly warmer toned contour. This is a very cool toned brown contour. This is a dark bronzer. This is more like a peach blush, I would say. And then this one is of course a very dark deep contouring powder. Formulation on this is unbelievable. To contour my face right now, I am gonna go into this shade here in this pan and just lightly tap the brush in, literally 1 or 2 taps, and I'm just gonna lightly contour. It's so pigmented, it's unreal. Like, look at that. I've hardly tapped anything on the brush, and that's how insanely pigmented this palette is. So really this brand has really, I mean, blown me away in like, it's amazing for the price point and what you get, and the quality of the products have been superlative. So guys, I don't have a blush, unfortunately. I think that's one of the only things. So this one is like I think a 15 color blush palette. This is from Kajal, and it's only matte blushes, and I really love this palette as well. So this is a matte blush R6, and I'm using the same brush that I was using to contour and bronze my face. And let's just start from the back, because you can see how insanely pigmented the Kajal palette is as well. So I like a matte, I mean I like a blush with a little bit of a sheen in it. But if you're someone who has a lot of texture on the skin, or you have a client who has a lot of like acne and stuff, I would say stick to using more matte products, because the matte products are going to not enhance the person's, you know, problem areas on the face as much. I'm also going to go in with the shade 081. I love mixing a pink blush with a slightly peachier blush. I've always loved the effect of that. So I'm just going to tap a little bit of that now. And again, starting a little bit at the top. And because my eyes are a bit bold, like I feel like I can go a little stronger with the blush on the cheeks. Some people like to like only focus on the eyes and keep the rest of the face very bare. But today I'm going like all out. Now let's go back into the Forever 52 palette, and I'm gonna take the highlighter shade. I'm gonna use the tip of the brush that we were using, and I'm gonna dip into both the highlighter shades very lightly. There's a little bit of product on the brush. I don't know if that's picking up. Tapping a little bit of the excess off, and so it's a stunning formulation and highlighter. Like the highlighter, like this whole palette is unbelievable. And just taking some on the top as well, and just lightly kind of going into the skin with that. I love this because it's a very smooth formula. It like doesn't make your skin look it doesn't go on patchy, and it looks like it's from like the highlight is from within sort of a thing. It's very buildable, of course. Like I'm not someone who likes a very blinding highlighter, but I think just to kind of give you an idea of how you can build the intensity of this, you know, just adding a little extra than I normally would. A little bit on the nose. And mixing these two shades is just beautiful because I feel like this shade is nice for deeper skin tones, but if you're someone who's fairer, then this is nice. But if you have a warm, like fair skin tone, then a mix of these two is really good, I'd say. So the last thing that I'm gonna use is the Forever 52 Superstay Lip Gloss. Now these are actually a matte finish, like a matte liquid lip. I have two shades with me. I have the shade Violet, which is number 1, and the second shade is Beat It. I'm just going to show you the swatches. Just give me a sec. So Beat It is like a beetroot crimson sort of color, which is this one, and then this one is the shade, what did I call it, Violet. I don't know why they call it Violet because it honestly looks more like a mauvey nude shade. I think I'm going to go in with the shade Beat It and just pat that on, I mean not pat that on, but apply that on the lip. So you can see that there's like no skipping on the color. Yeah, I think that is a stunning color. So the formulation is obviously a matte. I haven't worn these too often to kind of gauge, but they are definitely a matte finish. I can feel that. It's not feeling uncomfortable. It's not patchy. It does dry down kind of fast, so you gotta work quick with it. I do have one last one in front of me, and this is their translucent shine loose powder. So this is just a shimmer powder that they have. I think it's something you can use like when you're doing body makeup and stuff. I wouldn't really use it as a highlighter for the face. I won't use this particular color. It's just like a very frosty white shimmer thing. So maybe I'm just gonna dab a little bit on my body just to show you guys, and I'm gonna have to kind of scooch up a little bit. So let's just see how it looks on this side of the body. So it's just a shimmer. I don't know if the camera is picking up on that. Yeah, so it's just a light shimmer, like a body shimmer. And it's definitely got a lot of glitter, like sparkle in it. So it's a okay product for me, nothing like too unbelievable. But if you're someone who loves a lot of glitter and stuff, this is definitely something to check out. So yeah guys, I think that pretty much sums it up. As you can see, the highlight is definitely popping like crazy right now. But yeah, I'm really glad that I finally did this video. This is probably like the 5th time I've tried to film this, and you know, it's not easy. Like trust me, it's not easy trying to film and talk and have all the products laid out in order, and it's a bit like, you know, difficult, but I think I did a decent job. So yeah, so that sums it up. So I shall see you guys soon, and I'm gonna put my Instagram handle below. I just wanted to talk about one thing. So I have I have a new Instagram handle. Alyssa Mendonsa Makeup does remain, and that's going to be dedicated to all my blogging and reviews and stuff. But for my professional work, I have a different Instagram account called Alyssa Mendonsa Makeup Artistry. It's a huge, like, you know, name or whatever, but I'm gonna mention that on the screen somewhere here and also in the description box below. So please go and subscribe and follow me there, because it would mean a lot to me. A lot of the stuff that I do professionally, I really want to share with you guys, and that's gonna be the place to do it. So also needed to do that because when I'm showing people my work profile, it was kind of clashing with my blogging stuff, and I really wanted to have that separation between the two. So yeah, so thank you guys. I hope this review was worthwhile and worth the wait and the patience and all. I'm sure it's a pretty long video by now. And see you guys very soon. Lots of love and have a great day, week, month, year ahead of you. Love, ciao.